Hi, it's Mark Boardman here. I'm just doing a quick summary for you. So we'll start with on Tuesday we had the pound CAD here. So this was using a new strategy. It's called the FX Trend Rider strategy, and I revealed it for the first time this week. I've been working on it, testing it for some time now. Didn't want to reveal it until I was confident it was a great strategy and it would complement my FX Trend Catcher strategy. The difference with the Trend Rider strategy is you're not necessarily looking to catch the very beginning of a trend, but you're looking to get back in on a trend after a pullback, which is here. So here's where this trend began, then there's a pullback, and I entered the market here, and you have to be patient and wait for the market to stop you out above the crosses, which was here. Okay, so that was a profitable trade, about 9 pips. We had a similar scenario here where the pound was weakening against the Australian dollar in the 5-minute chart, which would be the 15-minute fat man. And this gave us a fairly nice trade here, which meandered for some time before it stopped us out here with around about, I think it was 18 pips profit. This was on Tuesday. Small loser, about 11 pip loser here. This was the Kiwi, which gave us a signal to enter here, but then there was a fairly volatile move down here which stopped us out. The great thing about these strategies is that you're stopped out on average with a smaller loss than when you're stopped out with a win. So you're riding the trends, and this volume price analysis software gets you out of the trends that are not going to continue. I use the word volume, by the way, because you really cannot make consistent profits unless you trade with volume. For the first time, as far as I'm aware, on this planet, we've now got Forex volume here, and really it's volume that validates trends. So you can't trade consistently without volume, and we've got it here along with the heat map and the trend dots. Okay, so that was Tuesday. On Wednesday we had a small loser here, relatively small because it was an hourly chart. Got the signal to enter here, but it pulled straight back, so we were out pretty quickly. Pound CAD here, interesting little scenario. I just want to talk you through this. This was a short, but this was the end of the day. Now I'd entered here where the arrow is. We were making no progress, and importantly there were 3 pivot points here, so I wasn't going to leave that overnight. Now it could easily have come further down, but when I see no progress right at the end of an evening with 2 or 3 pivots here, then I'm just going to get out of the market. Now I didn't make any profit, but then again I didn't make a loss. Okay, I mean, I guess just for demonstration purposes, if I was to place a quick buy there now, you would see, now that's, I'm not going to be keeping that trade, but that green dotted line would be there with this word here, buy. So when you come into the room, I don't cherry pick the trades basically just to show the profitable ones. All the trades you can see on my spreadsheet here are trades that have either been live as you've come into the room, or I choose them as I'm in the room with you. Okay, that's important. So that was the pound Canadian dollar there. So in the room itself, however, there were 3 trades placed, starting with this one here, which was a nice trade. We got the signal here. This is a trend rider again, where we have the Australian dollar pulling back, and then we enter here as the market goes back in the direction we want, and stopped out here for a nice profit. Similar trade here with the euro versus the US dollar, another pullback. We'd missed the beginning of the trend here. That's okay, because with the trend rider, provided the fat man is giving you the right signals, and we'll come on to that in a moment, then you enter after the pullback and get back in to take that profit there. And another similar one here with the euro versus the Kiwi. As you can see, the pullback here, and then the market goes where we want it to go. In today's room, we had one that I entered the room with, which was on an hourly chart, which is a loser here, and this is a good example of where the crash barrier on this software gets you out. Now there's a fairly volatile move against us. The good news is though that on an hourly chart, if you're losing around about 50 pips on an hourly chart, that's nothing to concern yourself with, because you'll find that you get some very big moves like here, which more than make up for those 40 to 50 pip losses on the 1 hour charts. That's why, by the way, I split the time frames into 1 hour, 15, 5 and 1 minute, just so that you can see that no matter what time frame you pick, this system really does work in all of them. Okay, so today we had that one. As I came into the room, that closed out after the room, by the way, so it was still going when we left. The two trades I took in today's room are here. This was the CAD yen. This was a trend rider strategy, not trend catcher. Got in here. This is where the trend had already begun, and then the market pulled back, and there was a nice entry here as the market went back in our direction and then stopped out here. And then finally we had the CAD yen, similar scenario here. Canadian dollar strengthening against the yen, pulls back, and we enter the market and then stopped out for a nice profit there. So that was that. Now, in case you're wondering, the signals on the trend rider strategy come from where we are not necessarily getting lines at the top and the bottom, but we notice lines that are steeply declining or steeply inclining. So if you can see this CAD and yen here, okay, in fact I think it was, I'm trying to find the point from today. Let's have a quick look at that. So that was a 5 minute, and this was, let's check the time here, we're in around about the 1725 on the time there. So let's go back to the 15 minute. I'm looking at 1725, which is around about here. There you go. So there you can see the CAD there is steeply inclining, and the yen had just started to steeply decline. So this is in the middle of the fat man. So this second strategy is about letting trends begin. So when you get these sharp incline or declines in lines, the trend has already begun, but what you then do is wait for that pullback. So here the trend begins here. Let me put that in there. The trend has begun. Right there, your sharp incline and decline lines. You wait for this pullback. If you don't get a pullback, you leave it. Okay, get a pullback to the dots, right, preferably to the dots, and in you go. And it's a fantastic new strategy I've revealed this week, and I'll be continuing with that. If you want to come into my trading rooms, they're completely free. You can register simply by going to my website here. This is called Hawkeye MT4. This is where you'll see all my videos at the bottom here summarizing what I've been doing. So that's Hawkeye MT4. Just put your email in here, your first and last name, and submit, and then you'll get an email from me, which you then click on the link in that, and that will confirm you to my contact database, and then you'll get emails from me to confirm the registration details. And just to remind you there that it's Hawkeye MT4 is the website, or feel free to email me anytime at mark@hawkeyemt4. Okay, so far so good. Just to finish, always expect to have at least one losing week out of 4. Okay, had a small losing week here in week 3, -8 pips. So far not a big winning week, 44 pips. I can have fairly regularly 2 losing weeks out of 4. You'll notice as well my averages are just over half right versus wrong. So as long as you don't worry about that, and all you ever concern yourself with is what's your average pip gain versus your average pip loss using these two strategies, the trend catcher and the trend rider, then you should be good. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for listening, and hopefully we'll see you all in the training room very soon. Take care.